Hello everyone. Sorry, today is a nice rainy day in Shizuoka Prefecture in Japan, but I wanted to show you kind of where I'm living in Shizuoka. Where I'm living is a Leopalace 21, which is very common for the AEON Corporation teachers to live in, but it's also common for foreigners to live in. So if you're a foreigner kind of considering living in a Leopalace, either with AEON or on your own, this video might be helpful. So today is the apartment tour of the wonderful Leopalace 21. So just below me is a bulletin board, but they'll actually put a lot of bulletins inside your mail slot anyway. And frankly, I don't read the bulletin board anyway, because while I understand some Japanese, my kanji is not very good. Back upstairs. I'm not sure how loud it is, but you can see this is kind of a mainer road. So anyway, here's the hallway. I am the very last room. So let me explain about the doors, the outside in Leopalace apartments. So first things first, I have a little balcony. We'll finish outside first. So this is where people can leave their bikes, kind of stroller kind of devices. There is a parking lot over there. You'll see more cars in a bit. Down these stairs is where you bring your trash. So that's actually a lower level, and if you go just to the left over here, there will be a place you can leave your trash, such as today, which is trash day. But there is also a place that you can open and close to keep out animals such as raccoons, so you don't have visitors in your trash can. So everyone hangs their umbrella outside, and it's raining today, so mine is wet. First things first. So your door number and your Japanese doorbell. So you can see right here is the digital camera, and right here is the button. I'm not going to press it now because I want to show you how this works from the inside. So next up, mail slot. Nothing too big. This is a package delivery box. So you can see it has open and close and a combination lock. So right now I just have it set to all zeros in case I get a delivery. You can just turn it open, and it's supposed to leave a package. If the package needs to be signed though, you will have to leave your seal, your incon inside, but if it doesn't need to be signed, they'll just leave it there anyway. But you'll notice that if I change the number just one, it will not open. So it has been very helpful since I've been here. Okay, and now for the lock. So this is the Leopalace key. It's hard to tell in this light, but it does say Leopalace on it. I'm not sure if you can tell. Anyway, you can kind of tell one side is the side that's supposed to face you. First of all, because Leopalace is on the outside, and there's a little arrow here, as well as the hole. But this side feels very flat, and you can see it looks very flat. This side has like a little bit of a bevel. Anyway, how you work this is, so this lock is totally free spinning. So you just go ahead, place it down. So if you want to lock it, you would turn right until it clicks. I'm trying to unlock, so I'll spin, pull it out. There you are. Okay, so I am just going to go down the row and show you how this all works, what's inside. So first things first, inside the door, you have a deadbolt kind of lock, you have a regular lock, it's your mail slot, and unfortunately you can't access the package delivery box from the inside, but that's not a deal breaker. So here, in the front of the room, you'll notice there's two different sets of flooring. So this is where you leave your shoes. You do not wear shoes inside in Japan, but I think most people know that by now. So here I have a little shoe closet next to my main light, which is on right now because it's rainy and dark. So inside the shoe closet, a couple shelves. Sorry, it's kind of dark. A couple shelves with some shoes. I have a couple of the information sheets they send me, such as evacuation routes, where the recycling center is, etc., etc. So I have a little trash can right here. So in here is my little bathroom laundry area. I have more light switches over here. We'll start by going in here. So nothing too crazy about this room. It's just a toilet with the nice Japanese sink on top. There's a shelf that's actually pretty big. You can store a lot of things up there. Yeah, so when you flush in Japan, there is a big flush and a small flush. I'll actually show you. So this one down is big flush, small flush, and when you flush, the sink turns on and it fills the reservoir. Okay, moving back out. We have a washing machine. It is not a dryer washing machine, it is just a washing machine. So I have a nice little storage shelf with some toiletries and laundry supplies. So the washing machine is, at least in my apartment, completely in Japanese, but you can see it has some regular features. There's cold, hot wash, there's a spin dry, a speedy dry, power on, off, nothing too insane. You will have to hang dry your clothes in Japan. Dryers are expensive, they take a long time, they're not energy efficient, so they don't really use them. But what do you do on a day like today where it's raining? Well, you would use the rest of the bathroom. So I'll explain about laundry in a moment, but here is my bathroom. So Japanese bathrooms, like the literal bathroom, is kind of like a wet room. So there is this door right here, and I will actually walk inside to show you. Completely close it. And now this room is essentially watertight. I won't leave the door closed because it will echo. So you can see there's a drain on the floor. I use a little hairnet to catch hair because I can just take it off and toss it. Nice little holder of toiletries I bought on Amazon, very well worth it. A sink, which I will explain in a minute. A shower head, and the bath. So in here there is a rod, but it's not used for shower curtains. You can see you use it to hang dry laundry. That's because there is a vent right here. I will show you how to use the vent before I show you how to use the water. So right outside, where the light switches, and there's this button. So if you turn it on, it has different heat settings, how long you want it to run, and this will just turn it off. So this is essentially what you want to do. If you are hang drying clothes, it will dry out the room. If you are showering, it is freezing because there's no central heating in Japan. And this is also what you want to use after you shower because it'll blow hot air around the room and help it dry out to prevent mold. So you'll hear it come on in a moment. You see my towels start to billow a little bit. It's because there is now hot air blowing on them. I will turn that off so you can hopefully continue to hear me. So next up is the sink. You'll see it has a couple different functions. This is just a hot tap and a cold tap. If you want something in the middle, you have to kind of mix it. So right now it's on regular faucet. If I turn it on, it'll run on. So what do you want to do if you want to fill up the tub? Because there's no faucet. It's very easy. You just turn over here and run to the temperature you want. As for the shower, you have to turn this knob, the shower function, adjust your temperature. It'll actually come through this hose pipe over here, up into the shower head. And then turn off your taps or turn it back the other way. I will turn it back so I don't go to wash my hands and get soaked on accident. Okay, but that is kind of the bathroom I have in Japan. Next up will be the kitchen area. So right up front you have a little fridge and a microwave, as well as some shelves. They're pretty packed because I went to an international store yesterday and it's kind of stocked up. I have an over-the-door shelf too. It didn't come with the apartment, it came off Amazon, but I highly recommend it just for the extra storage, especially if you are like me and you cook. So first things first, microwave, pretty standard. This is how long you want it to run. There's a hot, a defrost. Freezer is pretty typical. It's small. It's kind of like a dorm fridge, a little bit bigger. I have Girl Scout cookies in mine. Just one side, nothing too crazy. Doesn't have a light, at least not in mine. So here is my smaller than a sim size kitchen. That's okay. What I do like is that the, not that you need it, but your stove is actually in English. So if you hit the power, and turn on the light so you can see a little bit better. There you go. So you can see it has two burners, a front and a back. I have an electric one, which I don't like electric, but whatever. I have a dish drying rack and a place to put my sponge, but I tossed it because it's trash day. So anyway, if you notice, there's really not a counter to cook on. So what you can do, let's do what I do. You get this little sink extender. It sits right there. If you need to just put something on it, you can. Say you're like me and you need to move a hot pan off the stove, or you need something a little more solid. I put this little heat resistant pad right on top. It works well. There is a fan in here, so there's a little vent. Right next to that is a little hanger. You can hang towels or anything you need to off these to dry, especially right over the sink, which is nice. There's this tiny little cupboard. I have padding in it just so it doesn't bang quite so much, and then shelf liner to just make it easier to wipe down. Keep things like silverware and towels and a couple other things in there. It's not quite big enough, but it's big enough to use. Oh, I'll show you here while I'm at it. Shelf 1, shelf 2, and then on top of the shelf. Nothing crazy. Underneath the sink, I have used the 100 yen store Daiso near me very much. So it comes with this little built-in place to keep a knife, but I have a bunch of over-the-shelf hooks to store things. It's a little dark, sorry. Maybe I can turn the flash on for you. Nope, sorry. Anyway, you can see I have tons of things in here. There's pots and pans, I have storage containers, frying pans, glasses, bento boxes, cutting boards, cleaning supplies. There's trash bags back there. There is room. I would just highly recommend getting a bunch of shelving like these or stronger, just so you can maximize it. I mean, you can see I even have an oven, which I'll get to in a bit, but so I needed a place to keep baking supplies, everything. And I mean, I cook, so for me it's very well worth it. Okay, so I'm not just leaving this on, I can turn it off. Okay, and let's move on to the actual bedroom. It's a little bright, but you can hopefully see it. So there's a door separating it, and this is kind of the bedroom living room combo, but we'll just go step by step. So first thing you'll notice when you walk in, other than my command hooks, which are removable, there is a light switch, but there's also the doorbell function that I promised earlier. So this one's kind of cool. I'll show you how to use it now. So if someone outside rings it, it will come up on its own, but say you want to just check outside, you can hit this button and it will activate the video. Getting a glare. So you can see no one's outside. And if you need to talk to them, you can hit this button and your voice will go through. And eventually it'll turn off on its own, so we'll leave that there. So I have a full-length mirror. It came with the apartment. It's already attached, which is nice. Next up, it came with this nice folding table. And by folding table, I mean if you turn this notch down here, pick the table, turn its notch, it will collapse completely flat, which I will show you right now for the video. Voila, all of a sudden you have room. So say you were like me and had a bunch of people visiting at one point, you have an enormous floor space. So some chairs. I believe the former teacher left this here for me, but I use it anyway. I'm a girl, so I use a little toilet shelf. Those futons are actually not there normally, but I need them out of the way to show you for something later in this video. Anyway, so we'll go on to outside. So my nice window has a lock on it, even though I'm on the second floor. So you can unlock it. So what do you do when the weather's good in Japan? Well, you can hang your laundry outside. You can see I have this little hanging rack right here. There's a little balcony below it that you don't really use for anything, but I usually hang dry my clothes inside anyway. That way I can leave and come and go without worrying about it being outside. But there are days I hang it outside. Today is not one of them. Next up, I'll show you my air conditioner. That's what I have in Japan. This one actually, they replaced only a week before I got here, which was really nice. But anyway, it actually comes with this remote. So you can see it has a place on the wall, but it's really a remote. So you can hold it. This is hot, this is cold, up and down. You can hurt this to hold it off, turn it off. Everything else I'm sure has a function, I just don't use it. So next I'll go to my closet, and I'll stand back here so you can really see them. So I have two pretty big ones. There's a shelf on top, I just use for storage. So I have like a quote-unquote junk drawer, I have a little medicine drawer. Anyway, we'll start with closet number 1, which is mostly my business wardrobe. So I brought an unusually large business wardrobe, but it's useful. It has a shelf inside. You can see I have an iron, vacuum bags, a little steamer, and little baskets. It's where you keep things like socks and stockings. In the bottom, I have a little ironing board, a little futon beater, and my vacuum. So in drawer number 2, closet number 2, it's pretty much the same thing. This is just where I keep my other things, and pajamas and towels. A little collapsible laundry basket from Daiso. I highly recommend. That's about it. Moving on. So next in the room, I think this was meant to be a desk at one point, but it's attached to the TV now. I have a drawer under there. I have a bunch of electronics and like a big DVD case, DVD player, some computer items. So right now that's what that shelf's being used for. As long as you can see like a chair you can use on the floor, which is nice. Anyway, the TV is, I actually want to show you because it's kind of important if you're in a Leopalace. So I'll turn on the TV first. You can see it'll blink on in a moment. So the Leopalaces use a life stick. So it uses this, the Google Life Stick. You can see it's talking about it wants my password. I'll flip down for just a moment to input it so you can see. Okay, so you can see why this is important is this will handle your TV services, but this is also how you can get your internet. Oh, giving me an error message. I'll click off it for now. Okay, so you can see it has some TV and movies. Here's the internet in the corner. So you can go down. It actually has a Chromecast built in, which is kind of fun. What's important though that I want to show you is the My Room. For Leopalace, this will give you some important information when it loads. Well, I guess it's not going to load, but you can see there's a menu button in the top corner. Usually that's what you want to select. It'll tell you trash days. It will tell you, it gives you the option how to buy a TV or internet, which is nice. Oh, there it goes. So save for menu. You can go down the list. So I highly recommend just buying the internet here and using web money to do it. It's about roughly $15 a month for pretty much unlimited internet. And you can add TV on top of that, but the internet for me works just fine. So I'll turn this off. We don't need that noise anymore. So yeah, very important to have the TV hooked up. So other than that, just a couple shelves. There's a place on top where I keep some things. A giant photo wall. Anyway, right next to the bed, I'll start with the steps. I'll go to this thing right under the bed afterwards. So the steps go right into the bed, but I'll get to the bed in a minute. Because these steps, because it's Japan, actually open and have storage inside. You can see I have like tons of video game items in here. And actually in this top shelf, which is much deeper, it actually has nothing. I don't have anything to put in it at the moment. Okay, after that is your bed, which it has a little light switch next to it. You can't see it because my pillow's in the way. There it is. And that affects this light over here. But anyway, it's a bed with a futon. You can buy extra pillows, you can change your futon. I have an electric blanket on it, but depending on where you live, you may or may not need one. Right above the bed, there's more shelves. I have some stuffed animals, but I use that kind of like a little nightstand. So yeah, nothing too crazy about the bed. Okay, but under the bed, you'll see there's more sliding drawers like the closet had. So I'll start with this side first. And usually the futons I showed you by the window earlier are under here, but I took them out so you could see underneath. So this hole under the bed is essentially hollow, so you can put storage in here. So I have a giant box in case I want to ship anything back, the futon box, luggage. There's a little shelf that I keep miscellaneous things on. My suitcases are over there, but they're dark, you can't really see them. But I can just open the other side and get more light in. So there's the suitcases in back. So up front, this came with the apartment. It's a toaster oven. I just put it on a shelf. There's also a rice cooker came with the apartment, and a couple miscellaneous baking items and whatnot. So I actually bought an oven, a convection oven off Amazon, but you can buy them at recycle shops, which are kind of like thrift stores too. I put mine on wheels just so I can move it around. There's really nowhere else I can put it in the apartment because it does need a plug. It does need to fit in the area that you allot for it, but yeah, this is kind of where it fits best right now, so this is where it's living. So anyway, I'll close that again. So I guess one thing I should also point out about this apartment, which is kind of a bummer, is as far as plugs in this room go, there's this one right here, which you can see goes to an electric blanket, and then to an extension cord that has multiple plug-ins, so I can maximize it. The only other plugs in this room, the one up there, right next to the air conditioner. Those bottles are there just because they're non-burnable trash, so I need to recycle them separately. I just haven't got to it yet. Then the next one is actually just behind the TV, but it's already pretty much taken and overflowed. I don't want to really put an extension outlet on it, especially because I already have this one. I really don't want to put another one on and risk burning it out. So anyway, this is kind of what a Leopalace apartment is like in Japan. There's different styles and different layouts. Some of them have lofts, but this is what mine looks like in the Shizuoka area. You can see it's not huge, and there is, honestly, this whole little spot over there is just wasted space. It really is. There's no storage, no nothing, no plugs, no reason to use it other than the window. But it has a decent layout. I wish the kitchen was a bit bigger, but some things work just fine. And there is storage, which I do appreciate. So yeah, I mean, you can kind of see what's around, kind of get an idea of when you come to Japan, what you want to bring, what you don't want to bring. I'm lucky I live right next to a Daiso, again, the 100 yen store. So I can buy a bunch of little things cheap just to make my life a little bit easier. You may or may not, it depends. But a bunch of stores such as Tokyo Hands or AEON malls, which are large shopping centers, they all have different supplies, as well as other stores like Nitori, which is similar to a Japanese IKEA. But anyway, that's kind of it. So hopefully you guys admire all my college, high school posters on the wall. They were just easy to bring with me, so I don't have white walls and family photos. Anyway, that's kind of it for Japan. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, just please ask me. I don't mind sharing. Alright, then thank you. See you some other time.